You're watching a More Beautiful World podcast with Susan Renee, a channel for those of you with open minds and courageous hearts who are looking for guidance on your trauma healing and personal transformation journeys. Here, I share with you the powers of intentional plant medicine use, along with other holistic therapies and spiritual guidance to guide you on your path forward. I'm so eager to share with you what I've learned in working with these sacred plant medicines on my own journey, including the knowing that what we do to heal ourselves, we do to heal the whole collective. Join me as I share my experiences, knowledge, and wisdom to guide your trauma healing so you can transform your life, and so that together we can create the more beautiful world we all know is possible. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of A More Beautiful World. In today's episode, I am diving into how you can increase your capacity to live a more fulfilled life. On the transformational recovery journey, it can feel difficult, maybe even impossible, to make changes in your life because you haven't yet developed the capacity to make them. And it is this limited capacity that keeps you stuck in the cycles of addiction and suffering, preventing you from living a more fulfilled life. To break out of these cycles, it's imperative to learn how to increase your capacity for change and transformation, ultimately allowing your authentic, true self to shine through. That's why today I'm covering what your capacity in life even is, why it's tied into living a more fulfilled life, and of course, lots of different tips and tricks for you to increase your capacity. So if you are eager to learn ways to increase your capacity to be more of your true self and live a more fulfilled life, then this episode is for you. A quick ask before we dive into this episode, wherever you are tuning in from, if you could drop me a rating, a review, a comment, or follow the podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. I'd love to know what you think about this podcast and also your support, your ratings, your subscribes, your follows. They help me to get these messages out into the world. So thank you for this support. And as we dive into this episode, as you know, I like to do, I want to begin by defining what we are even talking about here today. So let's start with defining, what is capacity in life? And then I want to take you through why it's important and how it's tied into living a more fulfilled life. And then again, of course, what I want to do is share with you some tips and tricks to making it all happen. So let's begin with, what is your capacity in life? Capacity in life can be defined in a few different areas, as we're going to take a holistic approach and a holistic perspective to this definition. So mental, or we can even call it intellectual capacity, is about how you improve your ability to think, to learn, to plan, and to execute with discipline. Physical capacity is your general health, your well-being, and your physical performance. Emotional capacity is how you react to challenging situations, your emotional mindset, and the quality of your relationships. And I would say, lastly, a component here is your spiritual capacity. And that is about how you improve your vibration and connect into and hold on to higher vibrations of being, states like joy, love, peace, bliss, serenity, understanding, and connectedness. As I see it with these different areas, increasing your capacity in any of these areas does allow you to not only do more without exhaustion, key fact there, it allows you to be more. And again, this being more really is feeding into that spiritual capacity component, allowing you to hold those higher energetic vibrations and higher emotional states. Again, those states are love, joy, peace, bliss, serenity, understanding, connectedness. With that, you are able then to do more of what you love and experience deeper levels, feeling connected to your passion and your purpose in life, because those frequencies are going to allow you and allow your energy to attune to your true self, your highest expression. So that's a little bit about what this increased capacity even is and what is our capacity in life. So again, there's a few different facets to it, but that's what we do here. We take a holistic perspective. So now I want to talk about why is increasing your capacity in these areas important? And how is that even tied into living a more fulfilled life? As a human being, you are so extraordinary and magnificent. And you are capable of so much more than you believe yourself to be. And this isn't about this whole episode and this concept isn't about figuring out some way that you can work 12, 14, 16 hours a day and be hyper productive and drain yourself in doing or being busy. This really is to ensure that you can increase your capacity for more fulfillment and to be able to live life in a more fulfilled way. So I think that brings me to let's define what is a fulfilled life. When it comes to living a more fulfilled life, I want to point out that fulfillment is about satisfaction. And when you are on the transformational recovery journey, a key piece to your feelings of satisfaction are going to come from embodying the authentic self, to experience freedom, to be all that you can be, to be all that you truly are at the core of your being. Which hits on a key point I want to make today before we dive into how to make this happen. A key point is really the importance of increasing your capacity, is really about creating space in your life to allow your true, authentic self to shine through, for you to embody that true self, and to be able to live in alignment with all that you desire, and have the ability to say yes to all of the things that feel good for you on your journey. And as you are increasing your capacity, what's really happening here is you are creating space in your life. You are creating space in your being. You are expanding. And this space and expansion allows for your highest expression of self to come through. It is in this place of space and expansion that you begin to live that more fulfilled life. You feel more satisfied because you can allow more of what fuels your passions and your purpose to come into your life, because this is when you are embodying your true self. Now, that you kind of know, again, what increased capacity is, why it's important, and how it really, again, is going to help you live this more fulfilled life and allow you to embody your true self so you can, have that satisfaction. I want to just quick share a little story of how this episode came into production, just to give a little more context here. And then we will be diving into how you make this happen for yourself. So I love life. I love living. And I love doing a lot of things. And I have always also loved being these higher vibrational states, embodying these higher frequencies. Again, things like peace and love and joy. And since I've been on my own transformational recovery journey, I've continued to have this need not only to be able to do more of what I love and find more satisfaction in my life, But I'm always wanting to be more of who I know I truly am in every moment. So lately, I have found myself desiring more capacity. And this message kind of came in meditation that I was desiring more capacity. And it got me thinking a little bit and feeling into that. What did that even mean? Where does it come from? Where does this capacity come from? And I also was asking myself, why is it important? Why is it important to my journey and my life? And it was these questions that begin my journey of exploration for this episode. At the time of this recording, I've got to be honest, life honestly feels really good. I feel like I'm in a really good spot. And maybe, you are too. We're all at different, places on our journey. But even though it feels good, I still have this appetite to do more of what I love, to have greater capacity to hold higher vibrational energies, to be so built up and so charged up on the love of life, and to be able to feel more expansive and to have more space to hold additional clients in my containers, and to feel strong and resilient as I do all of this, as I am satisfying myself and enjoying my life, and feeling this deep connection and investment in my passions and in my purpose. So as I've identified this need of you can still feel some fulfillment and some happiness, and you can still want for more, or again, maybe you feel unfulfilled in some ways and you want for more. But ultimately, what I have, come to realize and really deeply know and trust that this is like the whole game, right? It's about the journey and not a destination. So as we go through, some of this, I want you to keep that in mind. But as I began, my personal journey of exploration around this topic, I take these concepts, these ideas, these messages, into prayers. I take them into meditations, into walking meditations, out into my solo time in nature. And I really started bringing these questions and this concept into my awareness. And I became really present with it. And I allowed the answers to start coming in. And of course, these are the answers that I want to share with you today because they are potent and they are powerful. And I want to start by saying there is a lot you can do to work on increasing your capacity. I'm going to share a lot of different tips and tricks and practices that are available to you. But just a little disclaimer, you don't need to try to do all of these and implement all of these right out of the gate. It's really about finding some sweetness and joy in the journey. So it's not about getting to a specific destination. It's not about doing all of this at once, right? It's about tapping into the sweetness and the joy in this journey. As you are listening then to these tips and tricks and practices to increase your capacity and live a more fulfilled life, I want you to feel into, as you're listening in, feel into what resonates with you. What lights up your heart or what gets you feeling excited? As I'm sharing certain pieces, you might, you might feel your heart open a little bit, or you might feel your solar plexus open. You might get goosebumps, Stay in touch with your body as I share these practices, and whatever you do feel is lighting up your heart or lighting up your body. That is where I encourage you to start on this process, because this is going to help you not only tap into your intuition, it's going to help you really match up with the practices that are best for you. Because that is your higher self. That is your true self coming through in your body to let you know, yes, that's what we want to do. With that, where do you begin the process of increasing your capacity for a more fulfilled life? As with many of the things I share, my dear tribe, it starts with really taking an inventory. And this is an exercise in self-awareness. So you can take this to journaling, you can take it to meditation, however you like to do some self-awareness exercises. But ask yourself, what in your life right now and what in your way of being? What is energy cultivating? And another way to ask that question is, in what ways do you currently find fulfillment and satisfaction? And recognize what is good in your life right now. And then ask yourself, what is energy draining right now? What is in your life that is draining you? And another way to ask that question is, in what ways do you feel dissatisfaction or frustration? So starting there, right? Having that self-awareness is key to this process, because without knowing where we're currently doing well at finding satisfaction and where, in life things are not bringing us satisfaction and maybe even creating dissatisfaction or frustration, that is key to, really moving through and inviting in some of these other practices I'm going to talk about. So begin first and foremost with taking that inventory and doing some self-awareness around this topic. And once you've gone through that process, I want to first share a key piece that has really come in strong that is super instrumental in increasing your capacity. And I've got a lot of other practices to share, but this one has been, I feel like, the most magical. And it is the one I have found the most potent and powerful in increasing your capacity. So the first thing I want to share is that as you look to increase your capacity and live a more fulfilled life, number one, you have to honor and preserve your energy in the present moment. So what does that really mean? This means that being present with where you are and where your energy is, and acting and being out of alignment with that is really, really key. It's really powerful. So what it is not, it's not pushing yourself. It's not acting out of desperation. It's not making decisions out of a scarcity mindset or out of fear. It's making decisions out of love for yourself and love for where your energy's at right now, and ensuring that you have alignment with the present moment that you are in right now. Because that is what's going to save you from exhaustion and ensure that you are not depleting your energy. Again, one of the most magical things I found in this process as I've been, leaning into increasing my own capacity and working with clients on this topic, it's that, when I need to rest and I honor that, I actually end up having greater capacity. And when I stay present and do what's in alignment with each moment, this key piece has really charged me up and overall increased my capacity. It's invited so much balance into my life. And when I am maybe a little more tired and I need to rest, or maybe I'm moving a bit slower for a day, when I honor that energy instead of pushing through it and going, no, I still have so much to do. I want to get all these things done. I want to do all these things. When I honor whatever is showing up in the present moment, then when the energy is there and I have a lot of energy to do more or to see more clients, that allows me to be so much more present and so much more energetic in those times. And it has not only charged me up, but it has increased my capacity. So again, honoring your energy in the present moment, making sure you preserve your energy when you need to. And there's some other tips and tricks I'll be sharing here that kind of feed into this one. But ultimately, staying present with where you're at and what you need in the moment. That in itself is a very, very magical tip to increasing your overall capacity and to living a more fulfilled and satisfied life. So that's tip one. That's my big tip for you today. If you take nothing else from this podcast, I hope that one resonates with you and you understand that. The rest of these, while still powerful, they're in no particular order. It is just things, again, I myself on my journey have found have helped me increase my capacity and my overall satisfaction in life. And they've also helped my clients do the same. So, number one is self care. There's a lot of different facets to self care. I love looking at self care from a holistic perspective. So, making sure you have practices that come in for your body, for your mind, for your spirit, for your emotional health. But taking a holistic approach to your self care really does help you increase capacity in all the areas I talked about at the beginning of this podcast. Self care is going to keep your energetic cup full. It's going to keep you in a more resilient state. It's going to keep, your energy and prana full and flowing. And self-care gives you time with you. And when you are caring for yourself so deeply, this actually feeds into my first powerful magical tip I gave you. It allows you to do more to honor your energy and to have more self-awareness around how to best honor your energy. So whether you are doing, a lot of self-care every day, whether you're doing just a few minutes of self-care every day and maybe longer amounts of time on your weekends or on your days off, it all works to help increase your capacity. So self-care is a huge way to increase your capacity to live a more fulfilled life, to find those deeper levels of satisfaction. So another tip I want to drop in here is getting yourself more organized. I have been blessed in my life with having great organization skills, and I have found not everyone shares those same skills. So if you are someone who is a little more disorganized, I highly recommend working in a way that feels good to get yourself more organized. I particularly love having a calendar of things. I love working with my journals, to keep track of tasks. And as you are like structuring your calendar and structuring your days and building in some organization, make sure you're also using that as a self-awareness practice to check in on what is energy cultivating and what is energy draining, because that can be another beautiful way to kind of just stay tapped into honoring your energy. But in organizing yourself, there's a really cool concept I want to talk about here, and that is Parkinson's law. So for my perfectionists out there, I admit I'm still a recovering perfectionist. Parkinson's law can be a beautiful tool to invite in. So perfectionism can keep us stuck on tasks for too long, longer than we really need to be. Parkinson's law is going to free you from that. But again, if you are perfectionistic and you are keeping stuck on these tasks, you are depleting your energy. Okay, so let's say, you have to pay your monthly bills, for instance, and maybe you feel overwhelmed about money. And so maybe you drag your feet and it takes you a really long time. And what could have maybe taken you 30 minutes or 15 minutes ends up taking you 2 hours because you just don't like to do it. So Parkinson's law says that whatever amount of time you allot to something is the amount of time it will take you. So as you look to organize yourself more, again, maybe paying bills wasn't the best example. Let's say you need to do homework or you need to do some cleaning, right? Set a certain time in your calendar for how much time you're going to spend on that task. I know this has helped me immensely in both my business and personal life because, again, recovering perfectionist over here. And using Parkinson's law keeps me focused. It helps with my discipline. It keeps me on task. And when you can build in that level of organization for yourself, it not only, again, helps you let go of some of those perfectionistic tendencies because you're focused on just getting the task done, it does allow you to increase your capacity as well. So Parkinson's law, again, great tool to implement when you're organizing yourself and getting some structure into your calendar and into your life. And pair with that too, a lens on priorities, right? And making sure as you are organizing yourself, you're putting your priorities first. Do what's most important that needs to get done in the day and put it in the day. It's one of the reasons I wake up every day and do self-care first. And it's how I keep, again, my capacity high in life, but it's how I keep myself organized as well. Having it in my calendar first and foremost, it's because it's the most important thing to me. So the next tip I want to share with you here is clearing out clutter. It is unbelievable how much stuff we hold on to nowadays. And you might know, just as I'm saying this, there's maybe a closet or a drawer in your kitchen, or maybe a drawer in your dresser that needs some, what I call de-shitting. So by clearing out the clutter, right? And I'm talking about like de-shit your home environment, de-shit your office, your car, your kitchen, your closet, whatever it might be, your garage. When you do this, it supports creating space. And you are then letting go of energy that has been keeping you stuck in these cycles of suffering and in these cycles of addiction. And that is what has been depleting your capacity. Energetically, I love feng shui, and I'm really into keeping good energy in the home. And when you have piles of things that have built up, in the house, or again in your garage or in your car, that energy is actually reflected in your being. So make sure you clear out clutter. Whenever you're listening to this, it's always a good time. But at the time of this recording, it is spring right now. And spring cleaning is a beautiful thing to take yourself through to, again, help you create space and increase your capacity. And there's a lot of satisfaction that comes from creating that space. So clean out that clutter. Another tip I want to share with you, which I've gone into more deeply in other podcasts, but it's worth mentioning here, is make sure you are setting healthy boundaries. So if you are a person out there who always says yes, maybe you are a people pleaser, maybe you just don't want to disappoint others, then this tip could be for you, because in order to increase your capacity, right, and really have that more fulfillment and more satisfaction, it is of utmost importance to set healthy boundaries around what you commit to. So with that, if someone's inviting you out for dinner, or, out to an event, or even just wants to get on the phone with you and you don't feel like it, if it is not a full body heck yes, then say no. And know that you are allowed to say no. You are allowed to set those boundaries for yourself. So again, I've gone into that more deeply in other podcasts. Happy to go into that more with you, in a consultation in person. But boundaries play a huge role, because the more you do not set healthy boundaries, if you don't set very good boundaries, that is depleting your energy, that is depleting your capacity. So on the reverse, if you want to increase your capacity, you've got to have those healthy boundaries set. One thing that kind of goes along with setting healthy boundaries is limiting distractions. So specifically, what I have seen most with not only myself, but with clients, and with family and with friends, we are so distracted by our phones and messages, and we feel this need to just be constantly available to everyone. We live in this world where so many people expect like immediate replies. It's like this instant gratification society. Well, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to be constantly available. You don't. It goes back into honoring your energy. So if you are, finding you need to put more time into work, or you need to put more time into school, or, you've set aside some of these times in your calendar that you've organized, limit the distractions and focus on the task at hand. You can put your phone in airplane mode, and then just wait until your tasks are done to reply to what's coming up. You are allowed to delay your responses to others. And I get it. There's going to be times when you need to be connected to your phone. You need to make sure everyone's okay. There's no emergencies going on. But the more you can limit the distractions, maybe even turn off certain notifications on your phone, that can really help you increase your capacity even more. Another couple tips I have for you all. Ask yourself if you trust in others And do you allow yourself to delegate, and or do you allow yourself to receive support? And I've noticed that a lot of folks out there feel like they have to do it all, and they don't really trust anyone to help them. So they put everything on their plate, which really, really decreases capacity. So, allowing yourself to trust in others, allowing yourself to open to receive and to allow people to support you in your process. Maybe in your workspace, allowing yourself to delegate can be really helpful in increasing your capacity. So, another one I have here for you is to learn, to grow, take a course. And while this may seem like it's going to take up more time, you actually, when you set out to take a course and you're in this like learning and growing space, you're expanding on your skill sets, and they can not only help you increase your capacity by having greater skills, they can further help you discover more of your authentic self and more of what your passion and purpose is. And again, this can help you hone in your skill sets, but it can also help you differentiate and discern what to say yes or no to. It can also help you understand better how to organize yourself based on your priorities. So if you can step into a space of, learning something new, growing in some way, taking a course can actually, again, it might seem counterintuitive, but it does. It helps you increase your capacity and really fuels the fulfillment and satisfaction in your life. So a quick one here. I've done full podcasts on this, so I won't go into it too strongly. But of course, make sure you are properly nourishing your physical body. This is really a part of self-care. But in order to increase your capacity, make sure you are eating clean, toxin-free. So lots of organic foods in your diet. Eat lots of plants to get light into your body, and find ways to move your body in joyful and loving ways as well. Finally, I have two more. One of the last things I want to share with you is on the energetic side. Set up reminders for yourself on what your priorities are in being and what energies you want to be in. So if you want to be more peaceful, if you want to be more loving, if you want to be more present, put some reminders up. I love putting reminders on my bathroom mirror. I love putting reminders around my office space. I love having reminders up on my kitchen, on the refrigerator. So, setting up reminders for yourself on what you want to embody. Again, it could be peace, love, presence, simplicity, joy. Putting those reminders up, and maybe even building into your calendar some time to get out in nature, to laugh, to play, to rest, where you can allow yourself some time and space to embody those frequencies and those energies. I have found that, adding these reminders around the house like really does help me in moments when I'm, maybe cooking or getting ready for the morning. It helps me attune back into those higher vibrations. So setting yourself up with those reminders can be so helpful, because ultimately, if you can raise your vibration, that in itself is increasing your capacity. Last thing I have for you guys here is work with a coach. Get some support, because as you have someone guide you, you really get so much insight into seeing your blind spots, and you can make progress more quickly and effectively. Again, I know this could seem a little counterintuitive because, maybe it would decrease your capacity because of an investment of time. However, what I have found personally and what I've seen with my clients is when you are working with a coach, it actually accelerates your ability to increase your capacity, because you have someone holding you accountable. You have someone helping you with the discipline, and you also have someone helping you identify more quickly what needs to be done to achieve your goals. So that is a huge, powerful way to, again, increase your capacity, but live a more fulfilled and satisfied life as well. Again, my dear friends, this is not an entire exhaustive list. All right. There are a lot of other things out there you can bring in to increase your capacity and ultimately live a more fulfilled life by embodying more of who you truly are. But this list that I shared today, these are things I found personally and professionally, have worked for myself and my clients. And it is, these practices and tips and tricks that really allow you to create more space in your life. They're going to help you create an energy of expansion. They help you achieve and maintain more resilience. And all of that ultimately goes into increasing your capacity so your true self can shine through and you can live a more fulfilled life. Okay, tribe, that is it for this episode. And I really hope that you're feeling that desire and that willingness for increasing your capacity so you can live a more fulfilled life and find more satisfaction in each and every moment of your day. Remember, take what resonated with you from this episode and start to implement it as soon as you can to reap the benefits of embodying your true self and developing these deeper levels of satisfaction and fulfillment in your life. And know that as you do, I truly and deeply believe in your transformation and your recovery. And I will be over here cheering you on the whole way. Let's remember, tribe, this is all about making our world a more beautiful place. And that begins with you. Because as you better yourself and as you move through your recovery and your transformation journey, you beautify our world. As always, I appreciate you being here. And of course, if you need support on your journey, as you're working on breaking these cycles of addiction and suffering, as you're working on healing from trauma, maybe you're integrating, your plant medicine journeys. If you are working on that, make sure you grab your free clarity call with me below. I have so many resources and services I would love to connect you with, and I would be honored to guide you on your personal transformation. That is all for today, tribe. Until next time, mwah, much love to you all. Hey, tribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button below and then click subscribe so you catch future episodes. And remember, I've got lots of free resources for you to learn about the powers of intentional plant medicine use in order to support your trauma healing and personal transformation journey. So make sure you check them out in the description below and help in making this a more beautiful world for us all. Thanks again for tuning in, tribe. And until next time, much love to you all.